Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Park Hopper Show. And this week it's just me, Paul. But I have a couple of things that I really wanted to get off my chest, so I'm jumping on to record an episode. First of all, for all you longtime listeners who suffered through the last episode, my heartfelt apologies. It was rough. I don't know what was going on in my mind. I really was not in the right mindset before I started recording, and I have since taken the episode down because it was really something. A lot of rambling, a lot of nonsense, but essentially, if you missed it, I explained to you why I think Disney Springs is Disney's fifth gate, and how if you took the money that you were going to spend in one of the other parks, you could really have a great day at Disney Springs and drop a lot of money in the process. So that is going away in the Disney Vault with Song of the South and various other embarrassments of the past. But thank you for all of you who tuned in and who are tuning into this one, even after the debacle the last one was. But I wanted to get on here and give you a trip review because I recently got back from a trip to the most magical place in the world. And let me tell you, since then, my world has been crazy. And I'm sorry I haven't been on, but my dad has had heart surgery. I've had a minor surgery. Our dog has gotten loose. On top of all the other things that have happened and continue to happen in your day-to-day life, these things on top have really put my brain other places than recording podcasts. But my dad is fine. I am fine. Our dog is returned. All is well with the world. All of the situations that we have been, we've got the best possible outcome of each of them. I would like to have less situations, honestly. I really like a nice situationless day. But, I mean, I can't complain with the outcomes we've got. So, with that being said, let's get into my recent trip. So, once a year, I have a client who has mastermind meetings in Orlando, and I am blessed enough to get to go down there and film those for him. We record podcasts, we record testimonials, we take photos and videos and record the presentations that are going on, and it's my day-to-day job. It's what I do, but once a year, this happens in Orlando, and it's pretty great because for the last few years, I've gone down either a day early or stayed a day later and got to experience some of the magic of Disney all alone without my lovely wife and my wonderful children. And while it is a different, it's a different feeling going to Disney by yourself, I cannot recommend it enough if you can swing that. Now, I've had stories through the past of some of these trips. It seems every year this is the busiest time in our life for school and for other events going on. And one year I went on Spirit Airlines and missed a whole day because of a flight issue. A plane broke down and it was a whole story within itself that I might even touch on later in this episode because it kind of came back around. Last year, my daughter had a 2-night play that she was doing in school it was her 8th grade play, a big dinner theater, and she was the star. And of course, of the whole year, when could they have it? Why not at the end of February, right when you're really thinking about the end of school? And just so happened, the time I would be gone on my trip. So I had to cut it short a day to get back and see it. And honestly, no regrets because she was amazing. And there's really something about your kids. You love them, you raise them, and you see what they do day to day. And when they step out and do something like be in a play or be in a show, you always hope for the best. To try to temper your expectations so you don't feel any disappointment and you don't transfer that onto them. But she was amazing. And I mean, I would watch her do that every day before going back to Disney ever again. It was amazing. So no regrets. And this year, the day before I go to head out, my dad is hospitalized and told that he's having heart surgery the week I'm gone. So too late to cancel the trip. They told my parents said, don't do anything different. Just go on your trip. We'll be fine. We'll be back. And boy, that on the back of your mind the whole time, very selfishly, thanks for ruining my trip, but not really, just having that one concern the whole time kind of eating at you. It wasn't perfect, but I got through it. My dad got through it, and I had a great trip. So to start off, if you ever listened to the podcast or you've done any deep listening, I am an all-star boy at heart. Growing up at Disney, we would go. When I really started going, I went, of course, luckily, when I was very, very little. And I don't have a ton of memories of that because I was 4 or 5 years old. I don't remember where we stayed. I know there was just Epcot and Magic Kingdom at that point because I'm 1,000 years old. But then in middle school and high school, we went a few years in a row. And for the most part, we stayed at the then new All-Star resorts. And I don't know if it was because I went then as a child and that is what was imprinted on me in my formative years, the All-Star resorts. But I like a value. I like good value for your buck. And if you're going to stay at Disney and you're going to go to the parks all day, there's nothing wrong with a value hotel. I also really, really enjoy the tacky Disney. Like tacky Disney is my Disney. Big, loud colors, big, larger than life statues, a crazy pool that's shaped like a piano or a giant Dalmatian or a yo-yo. Uh, Even the sports hotel. We went to the All-Star Sports, which is usually regarded as the worst Disney hotel. And I loved it because I'm not a huge sports person now, but when I was in middle school, I could not get enough sports. I remember going there and seeing the NHL playoffs, maybe even the finals. And if you're asking what a Midwestern person, if they like sports or not in the 90s, I was into playoff hockey. So that was really something. It was actually the week that OJ went for a run because we got home just in time to watch that transpire on TV. And boy, what a great childhood memory for a podcast about Disney. I say all that to tell you this, through various wheeling and dealing. This trip, I stayed at the Riviera. Yes, Disney's Riviera Resort Hotel. And it was a one-night trip. But can I tell you from the bottom of my heart, as much as I love loud and tacky Disney, I get it. I get the appeal of the nice hotel. My goodness. Just amazing. And shout out, I do not have her name handy right now, but I did. Oh, you know what? Let's back up. So, flight to Disney, no more Spirit Airlines in the morning because of their various business dealings. Nice Southwest flight early on, straight to Orlando, no issues. Got a rental car, no issues for the first time in a long time, no issues because, boy, that MCO rental counter is a nightmare if you catch it at the wrong time. Couldn't check in until 4 o'clock because, hotel policy. And I roll into the Riviera, though, about 11:30. And, I don't love flying. I don't love that part of the travel. It's very convenient, but it's not my favorite. But I park my car and I go in and I say, hey, I'm just looking for somewhere to drop off my luggage because I have all my camera gear for my event that I'm shooting and I don't really want to leave it in my car. When I head over to Disney Springs, because that was my plan. I love Disney Springs, the fifth gate, if you ask me. But I roll in and this wonderful girl or woman, she was very young, but she was just the friendliest, nicest person. And at the Riviera, I don't know if it's because it's a DVC or if it's just a nice place, but they greet you with welcome home. Oh, well, okay. Hey, how are you? And how long are you staying? What's your name? Blah, blah, blah. And the friendliness and the amazingness of this woman just instantly took all the pressure of the world off of me. I had been worried about my dad all morning. You start thinking about your parents and, life and mortality and just, things you don't want to hear about on a Disney podcast and just general worries. And they were instantly gone. Her friendliness, her just smile and just the overall kindness in her voice was just amazing. And after talking to her, she said, hey, you know what? We have a room available. We'll go on and we'll let you check in early. So some of that Disney pixie dust sprinkled magic, just amazing off the bat. So instead of kicking around Disney Springs for 4 hours, I was able to go up to my room. And let me tell you, if you haven't stayed at the Riviera, if you're an all-star person like me, or even a mid-level resort person, a moderate, I got to tell you, this place, it smells rich. And I hope that doesn't come across ugly, especially for people who stay all the time. But boy, it is just a different class of building when you walk in. We've been to Topolino's before. It's very nice. And we had a lovely character meal there in the past. But boy, if you're staying and you get to walk in and that scent hits you, and I am going to order either some candles or the essential oils. No, not essential oils. Whatever the smells from Magic Candle Company that smell like the Riviera, because that place, it just felt nice. You just walk in and you say, you know what? This place is nice. And now don't get me wrong. if you go to the All Stars or you go to the Art of Animation or you go to any of those places like that, you walk in and there's kids running around, there's hustling, bustling, there's people with suitcases and going to the pool and splashing, and it's just, oh, it's fun. You're ready for a Disney trip, you're ready for a vacation, you're ready to have fun, and you just, I mean, right off the bat, the lobby, it's big, it's loud, the colors are crazy, and you're ready to go. The Riviera, welcome home. Welcome home, sir. And you really feel like, oh, I want this to be my home. I want to live here. And I will send for the children and my wife later, but I will check this out first. And I mean, you just walk down the hall, and I love the hotels, the value hotels where you just walk right into your room and you walk right out into the parking lot like a motel. But man, walking down the hall and up on the 8th floor, which I believe was one floor below where Topolino's is. So a great view. Elevator up, walking down the long hall. It's quiet and carpeted, and it smells. Again, it smells so nice. It smells rich. And you start looking around at the other people there and go, what do you do for a living? Because I want to do for a living what you do for a living. Now, we do okay. We're fine. You know, we go on Disney trips, but we don't go on this kind of Disney trips. And what do you all do that provides you with this kind of lifestyle? Because sign me up for whatever that is, because my goodness. So get to the room, magic band in, open it up. Oh, just, you know, you got your Mickey Mouse made out of the towels, which I don't remember them doing quite so much when you're slumming it in the All Stars with me. You got a nice bathroom with a rain shower and nice soaps, and everything has a little bit of spicy scent to it, and even the soap smells rich. And I mean, it's really incredible. I can't put it into words, honestly. I'm not that good with words to explain how nice this place is. So I'm sure there are nicer hotels. I'm sure if you went to somewhere fancy in downtown Manhattan or big cities or just, you know, huge hotels in other places, there are, I'm sure, nicer hotels. But as far as my budget and as far as my life and the money I spend going places, I don't usually stay at hotels that are this nice. So again, the balcony, beautiful. You know, you're traveling, even though it's just a couple hour trip, then you drive in and it's a half an hour, 40 minutes from the airport or whatever. And it's, you know, I just don't love the travel part of it. So I get in, throw my stuff on the bed, and there's a couch, sit down for a minute, and I go, well, let me look outside. And I don't love usually a balcony. I'm not a big fan of heights without restraints. I'm kind of a fraidy cat in that regard. But we'll go out on the balcony, a super windy day, which of course, not my favorite, but I'm not in any danger at this point in my life of being blown off of a balcony. But I can see Spaceship Earth, the big golf ball off to the right, and off to the left, there's the sky, can't think of what it's called. Skyliner is right there because there's a station at the Riviera. Straight ahead in the distance, the Tower of Terror. I can see, you know, Disney's weenies all around me. And it's a beautiful sunny day. It's a little cool. It's about 40 degrees at home. It's about 50 degrees in Florida, but it's just a gorgeous sunny day. And again, all of the relief, everything just washes over me. And it is just, we're here. We're in it. We're locked in, and we're having a Disney magic day. So what do? I got a whole day to myself. When I finagled this hotel, I was expecting, you know, a cheap hotel just for the night, and I was going to go in later, you know, have some dinner at the Disney Springs and then enjoy Epcot the next day. But when I found out the Riviera was where I was staying, I went in extra early. I took the early flight, so I have a whole second full day to myself, which is unheard of. I mean, I have a couple of kids, a couple of pups, a wife, jobs, responsibility. I don't usually get 2 days to myself without work ever. So what do? I don't know. Disney without a plan is, again, something else I've never experienced, and I cannot recommend enough. What I did, I actually invented something, and I don't know, I've not looked it up online, but I've never heard of it before. I call it the Disney Transportation Land, Sea, and Air Challenge, and I completed that. So the following day, I was going to head over to Epcot. So I thought, well, the Skyliner's right here. Let me ride that bad boy over to Epcot, see what's going on. And it's a nice, cool day. got my my thin hoodie on and just the sun shining. It's not too hot, not too cold. I mean, it is honestly my ideal perfect day on the Skyliner by myself at the time of day I'm there. Not a big rush from the Riviera over there. Get to Epcot, just stroll over again. I mean, we're talking, it's noon. So even if I go to bed early so I can get up early for Epcot, we're talking 9 or 10 hours of just my whole day to myself. And I don't know what to do because this is not something I get. So roll on to Epcot, get my ticket for the next day so I don't have to get in that mess on Wednesday. And I see people going in. I say, tomorrow, that's me. You see you all going in today? Tomorrow, that's me. I can't wait. I'm going to be in Epcot. I'm going to go all around everything through the World Pavilion entrance. That I never go that way. In all my years of going to Disney, I have always been a front of Epcot person, a World of Tomorrow entrance. I don't usually get to take the back door through the World Showcase, but so tomorrow, that's me. But I'm looking around and there's a boat. What's this boat for? So I'll go over and talk to the boat people, and they're like, yeah, we go over to the boardwalk and we go all around. So I say, heck yeah, let's get on this boat. So I'm on the Skyliner, and then now suddenly I'm on a boat, and it's just some of that weird Disney magic. You're in the bubble. There's things to do that aren't the parks, which I've always been a big park person, but hey, let's get on this boat, see where it takes us. So float over, I guess, to the boardwalk. And there's just a romantic part of my heart that loves the boardwalk. And it's not the coolest place. Honestly, like the hotel's fine. It looks neat. And the stuff over there, there's something nice about the boardwalk. And I mean, again, out of my class of people, for sure, I'm sticking out. I feel like people can smell the All Star Sports on me when I'm walking around, but it's so nice. And off in the distance, you can see another. I can't off the top of my head think of what hotel it is, but they were doing construction, which kind of made me sad. All the scaffolding up, but hey, I'm not staying there, so I don't care. But I get to walk around. There's a courtyard, and kids are just playing in the courtyard, and they're playing football, and there's kids just running back and forth and laughing and having a magical childhood. And I just to myself, I cannot. I had a great childhood. I was an only child. I had a pretty stinking easy. But these kids, I'm certain the children of doctors and lawyers or whoever it is that are staying at these hotels, just having a television or a movie style childhood, just magic, and they don't even understand. And I just watched it from a non creepy distance for a little bit and smiled, and just almost like a storybook. These kids are just running around and having fun and not having a care in the world, which is really what vacation and what Disney is all about. So I go for a stroll on the boardwalk. And do I want a hot dog? I'm just getting hungry. I'm looking around. There's the new cake stores there. And I'm not even going to try to go in this place. This is insane. From the outside, it's one of those places that they see me and say, can I help you, sir? If I'm looking around, because they know, Paul, you don't belong there. Hey, and there's a line out the door for that. So good for them. So there's a little sandwich shop there. Go in, get a meatball sub and a soda, and just go sit at the boardwalk at the water and eat a meatball sub. And again, I cannot explain to you just the peace this is bringing to my soul on this day with all that I had going on in my life. And I'm texting with my dad, and he's in the hospital, and he's talking about how gross his lunch is. And it took everything I had not to say, well, hey, look what I'm having for lunch. It's a meatball sub at Disney World at the waterfront. I'm sorry. I'm getting lost just thinking about it. So head on out of there, do another stroll around, just see the sights, all the little restaurants. The boardwalk is very nice. If you haven't been to the boardwalk, I don't know if the hotel is worth a stay. You can call in, let me know, but going for a stroll along there, I highly recommend. It is nice. And especially on a sunny day, my goodness, what an amazing place to be. But hey, I don't have a car. My car is back at the hotel. Let's hop on the more Disney free transportation. Let's hit the bus over to Disney Springs and complete my land, sea, and air challenge. Now, I think the air challenge would also be completed if you use the monorail, which unfortunately I did not get to go on this time, but I did a bus, boat, and Skyliner all in one day, and I think that's pretty impressive. So roll over to Disney Springs, which is, again, one of my favorite places. I love Disney Springs. I don't know if it gets the love that it should, but to me, my goodness, I love it. it's a must go to every time we're there. And when we're coming back this summer, you best believe that we're hitting up the Disney Springs, the world of Disney. Come on. It's just this Disney store with all the most expensive dumb junk in the world. And you really start forgetting where you are, and you forget your senses that I don't think that this stuffed animal is worth this much money. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this crazy monorail toy when I get back home. But when you're there, you got to have it. So my youngest, had requested me to bring home cookies from Goodyen's. My other daughter had wanted some caramel popcorn, and neither of them knew we were going on a trip later when they requested these things. But of course, my little one, shooting her shot, said, "Hey, if they have the pig from Moana, could I get a stuffed animal from there?" And I said, "Sure, honey, why not? I'll grab that and pick it up." And thinking, I don't even know if they have those toys. I've never seen one of those. I'm not the biggest Moana person, but she grew up a huge Moana head. But there it is, Pooh the pig, and it's pretty big. And forgive me if you saw me at the store, or if anybody from Disney's listening, I did a big squish, picked it up off the shelf, and just crushed it in my hands, seeing if I could fit it into my suitcase. And unfortunately for Lily, I could not. I had a carry-on suitcase, a hard suitcase full of all my camera gear and tripods, and I had a backpack full of 4 days of clothes and other various things, and I could not fit a giant stuffed animal in there. So unfortunately, she did not get that brought home for her, but I did my best as a dad. And then, you leave there, there's some music playing, and it's just that Disney magic. I mean, there's just a concert going on in the middle of the day outside, and let's stop and listen to this for a while, go get an iced coffee and some cookies at Gideon's, and walk around with a coffee. Now, the last time I was at Gideon's, they had a nice cookies and cream cold brew, which, I mean, one of the best coffees I've ever had. This time, they had a cookie butter, amazing, cookie butter butterscotch coffee, and it was fine. I would do cookie butter on almost anything I eat. Cookie butter is one of my favorite desserts. I don't love butterscotch that much, except when we call our dog that, right, Butters? He is off camera right now, but it was fine. It was good walking around, give me some pep in my step to finish out my day, and just spent 2 or 3 hours rolling around Disney Springs, and I mean, I love it. Picked up some deluxe burger on the way out for dinner to take home, to take back to the hotel. And if you heard the last podcast, I love deluxe burger. It's one of my guilty pleasures. It's not, I don't know, by far the best food. I'm sure at Disney Springs, it's probably not even the top 10, but I love a burger. And I love a barbecue burger, and they have an excellent barbecue burger, and their fries are amazing. Their sauces are amazing that you can take dipping sauces. And since the last time I had it, they have added lids, I believe, to the take-home or the to-go cups for your sauces. So I got to take home some delicious things to dip it in back at the hotel. So the bus back to the hotel, and it's getting dark, and a Disney Deluxe burger from Disney Springs on the balcony while I'm watching the fireworks at Epcot from the balcony is just, I mean, it's a feeling I have never had. And when people say, "Oh, you want to get one of the rooms, you can see the fireworks." Okay, great. And I mean, when I'm there, I'm at the Magic Kingdom, I'm like, fireworks. I can't tell you the difference between each fireworks show. I can't tell you the difference between the Epcot shows. The nighttime spectaculars aren't my thing. But being there by myself with that burger on the porch or the balcony. See, I'm not a Riviera person. On the porch, on the balcony, watching those fireworks, and just everything was right in the world for a half an hour or so while that was going on. Just an amazing, amazing night. But I had an amazing day the next day planned, so got to get to bed and get up and head to Epcot the next day. And now these trips, when I go by myself, Disney's a lot easier when you're not dragging your children along. And don't get me wrong, my kids love Disney, and it's been a few years since we've been, and they love it. They just love Disney World, just like their dad does. But what they don't love is getting up early. And my wife, especially as a teacher on vacation, would do without getting up early to go anywhere because they're on vacation. But all you Disney people know, come on, man, you got to rope drop that place. If you're not going very often, you've got to make the most of your day. So a couple of years ago, I was the literal second car in the parking lot at Magic Kingdom. And this year, Well, let's see. 2 years ago, second car in the parking lot, I was the first person in line to get in at my particular turnstile at the Magic Kingdom after riding the boat over there from the transportation department. So I am best believe I'm up early. I'm on the Skyliner going over to Epcot, and you can just feel the anticipation in the air because anybody who's up that early on a trip, I mean, these people are my people. And we're in line, we're strolling, it's going fast. The early entry from the hotel is a big win. Usually on these trips, I don't get to do early entry because I don't usually get to stay at the hotels on property. I'm usually staying at an Airbnb with somebody and then heading out early the next morning. So I got in that early crowd, going over to Ratatouille that they now call Ratatouille, which is very clever. Disney doesn't call that, I don't believe, but the people do. And I've heard online that people say taking the 3D out of Ratatouille, Remy's Ratatouille, whatever the ride is actually called, has hurt it a lot. And I would disagree. It is incredible. It's still super fun. And for people who couldn't see 3D or made them sick or dizzy or whatever the reason they got rid of it, I'm sorry to the people who weren't able to experience it before, but I'm glad they get to now. And I'm sorry for the people who don't like it now that it's in 2D, but more rides for me because less people in line. And I will say you're getting there early, so you're not gonna you think I'm gonna get there early, I'm gonna hop right on this ride, but really what you're doing is you're getting in line early. I would love to go to Disney enough where I could rope drop and then just walk through Disney empty. I think that would be amazing. I took a couple of photos because World Showcase is just a ghost town because everybody's going to either Remy or they're rushing down to Guardians to be on that early or test track through, which we'll get into that. But you're actually staying in line for about 45 minutes to ride the silly ride, even though in your head you're beating the system. You're like, I'm so smart. I'm getting here early. I'm hopping right on this ride. Look at all these suckers coming in that are staying at Holiday Inn. But honestly, you're staying in line pretty long. But it was worth it. Loved every second of it. Got to ride by myself in the front row. Pretty exciting. And just, I'd forgotten. Woo, it's good talking today. I had forgotten how great it is. It had been 3 or so years since I'd ridden that, and it was amazing. Then, you pop off. There's still not a ton of people in the park. Roll on down to Norway, get on the Frozen boat ride, front row of that, sitting by myself and enjoying that with, man, maybe a 10-minute line, almost nothing, just amazing in and out. And I had a whole list of places I was going to hit and make sure that I got to ride. And I was just checking them off one by one, just loving it. Hit up Guardians of the Galaxy. And so I already apologized for my last episode. Let me apologize for the Guardians of the Galaxy slander for the ride that I've given in the past. It's amazing. We went 3 years ago with friends of ours, and we went to Epcot on the last day, and we had gone hard. Let me tell you, they have 3 kids. We have 2 kids, and they are rope droppers and nighttime close it down people just like me. And man, by that last day, it's just your body's starting to fail. The salt and sugar and bread and the calories are starting to hit you. The steps, 30,000 steps a day is really starting to wear you down. And I went on Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, and it was fun. I said, this is great. But I had heard all the hype in the world. And I remember thinking, this is pretty fun. But I remember all the hype for Rise of the Resistance. And then when I went on it for the first time, thought, well, this lived up to that hype and more. And Guardians was good. I don't know if it lived up to the hype as the best ride ever that some people had claimed, but I will tell you that ride is incredible. And I waited in line for about 40 minutes, which is not bad at all for that. And man, it was just super fun. There were some terribly annoying children behind me in line without their family. And boy, I miss my kids because my kids are pretty great, pretty incredible. And especially when I see just these turds of people that were behind me without their parents and just acting a fool and just kind of taking you out of the moment. Not a big fan, and I would be so terribly embarrassed if those were my children. But other than that, pretty stinking great. I mean, you're saving the world. You got your Chris Pratt, you got all your Guardians people, you got some fun jokes. You got, oh man, it's just the best. And when you get to the end, no spoilers. I guess it's a spoiler, and that you start spinning in that circle. Oh, it was super fun. And please forgive me, anyone who's heard me talk bad about Cosmic Rewind in the past. I've never said it was terrible. Just said I was not as overwhelmed with the excitement as some people were with it, but it was incredible. Which brings me, sadly, to the next thing on my list, which is the new test track. And I have never been in the past a huge test track person. I remember you used to go in and you would design your little car on the screen. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, this is fun. I'm going to design my car and then I'm going to get into a similar shaped or something with this design is going to go into the ride that I ride. I know it doesn't have to be as fancy as that. And in my mind, I thought, how could this even work? But I remember, E.T., even silly old E.T. at Universal, you would give them their name and then E.T. would say, thanks, Paul, on the way out the door, which, I mean, to this day, come on. I'm not getting that at any other ride anywhere. But then, you get in the car and it doesn't really look or feel like the car that you designed. And you get the little like, oh, you did good, blah, blah, blah. And it's just kind of a jerky ride. And I mean, if you've ever driven with my wife, you've driven in that car before. And then you get to the end and you go real fast outside for 10 seconds and go, whoo, that's pretty fun. But I'm honestly just driving in a convertible outside. I mean, is this a ride? Is this a roller coaster? What is this ride supposed to be? So when they were redoing it, I thought, all right, great. They're going to fix some of these issues. And I've heard other podcasts and I've heard reviews of people say this is now the best ride at Epcot. So I thought, all right, let's check this out then, man. Let's go. And it was about a 55-minute wait. Well, what else do I have to do? A beautiful day. I got me a nice coffee at Joffrey's. I got one of those big donuts that's almost as big as my head. And I got in line and said, all right, we'll make the most of this hour with my giant donut and my coffee. Whew. Man, that was a long hour. That queue, people, Disney, what are you doing? That queue is terrible. And I love Disney World so much, and I don't like any Disney slander. The test track's queue is not where it's at. Not since the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster is there just nothing going on. You're in this giant room, and it looks very futuristic, but there's nothing going on. There's nothing to take your attention. And then you turn the corner and you think, well, we're getting close. And you are not. It's the classic Disney bait and switch. You get in a short line in the one room, and then they take you to a hidden room with a long line. And that queue is awful. There's just some video playing, and you see it about 25 times because it's not very long. And there's a couple of higher, like test cars or, prototypes of things. And it's like, this is fine. And admittedly, I'm not a car person, but I feel like even if I was staring at these cars for 45 minutes, you got to give me something else. Why not I don't understand that Disney just put a movie on. You got the friggin' screens. You're showing this boring video about cars. Just put the movie Cars on, or just put Wall-E or something future. Just put anything on that will take your attention away for an hour, because this room, my goodness, this line, this back and forth, and you just try not to make eye contact with the people because you're just walking back and forth in a snake. It's bad. This queue is it's unforgivably terrible. I don't know if it's made that way to make you want to buy the lightning lane, but I wouldn't, because, hey, I got on the ride and I thought, all right, here we go. Been waiting. Let's check this ride out. And this ride is not good. I just flat out, I'll say it. This ride is not good, and it's skippable. And if my family doesn't have any desire to go on it when we go in the summer, we won't go on it again because it's bad. It's just boring. And again, I love Disney. I love Imagineering. I love all of the things, and I just don't get it. I just do not understand. And then you go outside at the end, and it's super fast, and you go around in a circle, and you think, hey, this is almost a ride. This is fast. This is fun. The hair or the wind is blowing through what's left of my hair, and it's just a fun day. But it's an hour for this boring ride inside that is just jerky start, stop, left. I don't understand Disney. It's one of those things. I do not get it. It was bad. Bad. So I did have the time to enjoy my donut, my Joffrey. So I wasn't in bad spirits, but I just walked out of there like, what are we doing, Disney? This is terrible. I get that bad taste out of my mouth. So what do you do to get the bad taste out of your mouth? More snacks. And that is right. Rolling on over back to the World Showcase, because what else am I got going on? I will tell you, on the way to get this to the Caramel Kush, which is one of my favorite places. I'm not sure if I'm saying that the right way, but the place that has all the caramel flavored treats, the Werther's branded caramel all over everything. Oh, that is a must hit. They have the caramel corn that I love and that my daughter loves now at the Big Tent at Magic Kingdom in the back at Pete's. I think it's Pete's little store, but it originated here at Epcot and it is amazing. So another must get. And I grabbed a big bag of popcorn, a big bag of caramel corn, and all right. Well, if I'm getting any more lines, I've got this popcorn. Throw it in my bag. It's going over to Living with the Land. And I got to tell you, next to a big burger watching fireworks on your balcony, going through Living with the Land with a big bag of caramel corn, my goodness. I don't know how many better feelings you're going to get on this trip or any trip. It's a great, great time. I would highly recommend it. If you like popcorn at a movie, caramel corn on Living with the Land, let's go. Come on, let's go. Just amazing. So super fun. I know Living with the Land is getting its flowers now, and it seems like, oh, is that kind of boring? Or no, it's not. It's very peaceful. It's supposed to be educational. I can't tell you really much about anything I learned, but I will tell you I won't miss it. Next time we go, we're hitting up Living with the Land because it's super fun. And then roll right over into Soarin'. And I mean, the first time I went on Soarin' with my now wife, we were just dating and we stood in line forever for this ride. And I don't know if I'm that person anymore. I don't know if I've never been a huge line person. I've often told the story about when I was a child and we waited 3 hours to ride Back to the Future at Universal Studios and how amazing my parents are and how amazing they were and how amazing they still are. But the thought of being at any line for 3 hours now is nonsense. The thought of being in the line more than 1 hour right now is really hard to fathom. But this one, from the probably hour and a half the first time we rode it to 15 minutes, just rolling on. And man, I'm telling you, when you're by yourself, you get to slide in a lot of places they don't let you slide in when you are with a crew. So roll right into Soarin', kick those shoes off, and watch this. Oh, it's just fun. The smells and the sights, and a little kid at the end that every one of the cheesy transitions, she just screamed with joy and fear and just laughing. And it was just that great Disney time with strangers where you're just laughing with this kid and you're having a blast and just so fun. Then, I mean, that is it. That's all my must do's. That is all that I have to do while I'm there. So, I mean, we're talking 1:30 in the afternoon and I've hit everything that I have to do. So, all right, walk around, go through World Showcase and actually get to see all the different countries. And I really don't usually get to spend a lot of time doing that because, I mean, you're dragging children around and usually when I go, it's more crowded. I will tell you, the best trip we ever took was in January. We pulled the kids out of school for a week, which if you have that opportunity, do it because school is fine. I mean, I won't be the parent that says school is not important, but I will also tell you it is not the end of the world if they miss a week of school. As long as they're able to make up that work, come on. And the weather is good. I went in February. This time the weather was perfect. It was not too cool, not too hot, and not too crowded. More importantly, the art festival at Epcot had just ended, so the people who would normally be there at that, they weren't there. And it was a very manageable crowd. So you walk around, look at all the sights. In Morocco, strangely enough, there was a belly dancer going on, and a lot of dads spent too much time maybe at the Morocco pavilion. So watch out for that if you're there with your wives. And she was very good, but stay with the mission, keep going, checking out all the different countries, getting to walk through the shops. I'm not a big shopper, of course, because I'm very cheap, but getting to see all the stuff that's for sale and, the amount of swords that you can buy at Disney World is wild. I don't understand who needs a sword in general, but especially a sword from Disney seems like an odd keepsake, but lots of stores sell swords, and not just the Japanese place, but I do love the Japanese store, all of the anime things and all the stuff that my children would just love. And I got a silly little keychain for Lily because she didn't get a big plush, but they have all the weird snacks and you're just strolling, just enjoying the day. I filmed some content for the church that I work at that got a lot of views and helped us get a lot of candy donations for Easter. It's a weird, long story, but getting a little content out while I'm there, feeling like a real influencer, even though I am far from that. Get done with World Showcase, hit up Spaceship Earth, which is fine. I don't. That's something that people love. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but the line was short. It was basically a walk on, and it's nice and cool and dark, and you get to see the old animatronics and the smell, and it's really vintage Disney. And I love vintage everything, but as you can see behind me on my junk, vintage Disney is maybe my favorite Disney. So it still feels old in there, and I like that a lot. Get some fish and chips at the England Pavilion for dinner because, I mean, I love the fish and chips there. And boy, that's not a lot of fish you're getting there. It turns out one big plank, but it was delicious. And you get to see some birds who are just a little bit too big for their britches, they feel very comfortable with no predators. And they just walk up to your table and steal a fry if you don't look at them in the eye. You got to assert yourself as the alpha for dominance when you're there. And strangers sitting with me because they didn't have room at their table, the dad, and it's can I tell you, in any other situation in my life, if a stranger sat down with me to eat, I mean, that's a big no for me, dog. Please, please, please do not sit down with me. It's the strangest thing in the world if my wife would see me out there talking to a stranger while I'm eating. And just, yeah, sit down, man. Sure, take a load off. It's the way that, like, successful and friendly people are all the time. I am not that way. But at Disney, like, yeah, come on in, man. Have a seat. Tell me your whole life story. And boy, I'm getting people's life stories and who they are and where they're from. And I'm almost a whole different person when I'm there. So we got to have a full great day at Epcot all by myself. And again, if you can go without your family, you'll miss them because I missed them so much. But we are going back in the summer this year. But highly, highly, highly recommend. And just to wrap this up, I will say it's been in the news lately. There's a Yahoo article about it that even interviews this man. But the Airbnb we stay at is offsite, of course, because Disney doesn't do Airbnbs. But the gentleman that I work for a few years back during COVID was talking to some people through Disney. He's a big business guy and a big Disney business guy. And a lot of people got furloughed during the pandemic and had to set up their own businesses to stay afloat because, if you're not working, if you're at Disney and then you're not working, you're not getting paid, you're not making a living. And he was a chef. And now his name is Chef Callie, and he's amazing. And he was interviewed in this article because Disney's cracking down on outside vendors on their property, which is honestly, it's understandable. It's one of those areas that I see both sides. You don't want people coming in. So essentially, people are coming in and providing Disney type services on Disney property that aren't Disney affiliated. So, for instance, this guy's a chef, and he would come to your room and cook a big meal, a big fancy dinner. And I mean, it really only worked probably at the DVC ones, at the bigger ones that have kitchens available and sinks and things, because it's a lot of dishes and a lot of mess. But people would come around, and if you couldn't get into the Bibbidi Bobbidi boutique, or you didn't want to spend the money on that, you could have someone come to your room and give you a princess makeover for your kids for whatever price, and bypass Disney altogether. And as much as I love Disney, and as much as people listening, I'm sure, love Disney, Disney it's kind of their whole thing. They do this, and they do a good job with it, but they do it because it makes money. So let's not pretend that's not the big root of all this. So they also don't like bad publicity, and if something like this were to go awry, it looks bad on them when they're letting these people come on. So I get it while they're not allowed to anymore. But this gentleman was interviewed in the article, and he's right in the things that he had to say, but I get why he's not allowed on there. But this Airbnb, not on property. And did it have a crazy room? And did I sleep in a 4-person pirate ship bunk bed? Yes. And was there a 4-person Frozen style bunk bed? Yes, because Airbnbs in Orlando are insane. But this gentleman came, and he was hired a few years ago by the guy I was working for, and has come back every year, and he throws it down in the kitchen. Just amazing. Just pot stickers and wings and fried rice and desserts, and just a full big meal for all of the people here at this mastermind meeting. And I mean, it's incredible. Chef Callie, look him up if you're ever in Orlando and you have a big get together that you need, offsite, of course, but he's pretty great. So that's the whole trip. On the way out, of course, I did stop. This is a shameful thing, but I had a late Friday flight because I don't love being away from my family as much as the great time I had and the great relief it was to be gone. especially because Friday is when my dad ended up having his heart surgery. And they did a whole bunch of stuff, and science is amazing, and doctors are amazing, and they did a perfect job. And he's recovering well, and it all went well. And it really, another weight, taken off my chest and my shoulders, and I'm sure his more so. But just, feeling good, feeling rested and rejuvenated after a trip to Disney is really incredible because that is the opposite of what usually happens. So everything was going well, and I thought, I'm rolling my dice. Listen, I got an 8 o'clock flight or 8:30 flight. I got to be at the airport 6:30. Whenever I get through security, got to get this rental car back. I've got about 3 hours. I'm going to run after these meetings are over. I'm going to run back down to Disney Springs, and I'm going to get another one of those burgers because fat. My goodness, what am I doing with my life? But got another deluxe burger, packed that bad boy up to go. And I said, I'm going to eat this in the car because I know it's about a 40-minute drive to the airport. And I'm going to relax and I'm going to drive and enjoy my day. I'm going to enjoy my drive, get a podcast going. Oh, and just, again, having the best stinking day ever. And I know this burger is going to hit me and I'm going to get tired because I've had a lot of steps and I've had a lot of junk food. And I'm going to get on this plane. It's just a 2-hour flight. And this burger and fries are going to hit me about 8:30, about 9 o'clock. And I'm just going to be snoozing and I'll sleep all the way home. And it'll be amazing. And I'll get home and I'll see my family and I'll go right to bed and we'll get up and have a great Saturday because we have an archery tournament to get to. So ate that burger, dropped the car off, and then boop, boop. Uh-oh. Started to get the texts. Flight delayed. That's okay. An hour. That's what are you doing? We're at MCO. It'll just give me more time to get through the security. It is pain. I love the security. I love it that you feel safe when you're at MCO. When you go through, you get to the other side, you feel safe because of all the stuff they check. But when you're lugging that much equipment, I mean, we're talking heavy. It's heavy. Everything individually is light, but when you have a whole hard shell case full of camera gear, it's heavy. And then I had a whole week's worth of stuff in my backpack. So I'm dragging, but I get through, get on the little monorail, get to my gate. Uh-oh, another text. Uh-oh. Suddenly my 8:30 flight, it's looking at 10:30. Oh no, what are we doing, Paul? Come on. Well, what can I do? Maybe I take a little nap because that burger, it's starting to hit at about 8:30 like I guessed. Had timed it pretty well while I was getting really sleepy, but I thought, Paul, the last thing you need is to fall asleep here and miss your stinking plane. Well, it just keeps coming, and the texts keep coming, and the delays keep coming. Well, MCO is a super fun airport. There's so much stuff to do, but it's on the other side of security, and I have all this gear. I'm not going to go back to security with all of my gear, so just suck it up, put my headphones in, and just set my alarm, and I have a little nap in the floor, which is almost impossible with this hard junk that I've got in my backpack and my case, but get about 30-minute nap in. It's getting to be about 11 o'clock, and boy, it's not looking good. And I'm going back to Louisville. So, spoiler, I live in Louisville, Kentucky. So, it's about a 2-hour flight away. The adjacent gate is going to Indianapolis, which is just north of us, and probably a 2.5 to 3-hour flight. And finally, their plane is there, and their pilot is there. And those people have been waiting as long as we have, and they cheer. And I feel good for them because a couple years ago, I was on a Spirit flight that ended up not going after a 5-hour delay because the plane was broken. So, I'm like, you know what, these people, let's go. I'm excited for you. Get you all home. Exciting. And these people are clapping and they're high-fiving, and it's funny because you're just in the airport, and most of these people have been to Disney. Why else are you going to Orlando at this time? I mean, these are Disney people just going home. So they're friendly, they're, trauma bonding after being in the airport for 3 or 4 extra hours. Thank good for them. So I go back to my business, and about 30 minutes later that door opens up, and these people are being escorted off the plane because there's something wrong with their plane, and it is just a broken group of human beings, just so sad. Just leaving. They're leaving Disney and they're just trying to get home, and all of the goodwill has just been, all of the happiness has just been taken away from them, and their faces are just cold and sad, and their eyes are empty and void. And my heart went out to them, but there's nothing you can do because you're at the airport. What are you going to do? You can't fly them home yourself. So, the longest story short, I left MCO at 2:30 in the morning, which that's a 6-hour delay, and I had been at the airport then for 8 hours. And that's a long time. And I had been pretty much in that one seat area for 8 hours, except for my frequent trips to the restroom because of all the water I had been drinking to stay hydrated and awake during this 8 hours of me sitting there. But again, my dad was fine and I had a great week. And honestly, strangely, I didn't care. I was just so numb and happy and feeling good on top of the world before I got home and all the, so just it just hits you because you're in the magical place and then you're home and no one else has been at this magical place. They've been doing life and they're like, hey, what are you doing? And it really hits you when you get home. But boy, that flight, it went quick. I had a nice snooze. Got back to Louisville about 4:30 in the morning. And if you think it's bad to leave Orlando at 2:30, I can tell you it's way worse to be leaving Louisville at 4:30 because our airport is very small and they turn off the lights at about 10 p.m. I've gotten home late before and, they're just like, hey, man, hit the lights on the way out because you're the last flight in. These people had spent the night in Louisville's airport waiting for our plane to go to their destination. So they had it worse than we did by 1,000,000%. So I get home about 5 and get up at 7 for an archery tournament. And that was my trip report. So you get your whole Disney vibe. You're having the best time of your life. And then, bam, back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity right in your face. But a great time was had by all. And all being me because I was the only one there. So there will be another trip report this summer when me and my whole family gets to go back. And hopefully I will be back on here soon with some more interviews with some more interesting Disney people. But I thought I would get on here and let you know about a good time that I had, a great time to be by yourself at Disney. If you get the chance to do it, if you get that opportunity, I say jump on it every chance you get. And remember, no matter what is going on in your life today, there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. And I will talk to you next time.